Hello, everybody. Shout out to, all of us. You're talking with D, Marc, Tank, and, this is the Incompetent Nerds.
I really felt like you're about to announce a fourth person.
I know. I was like, is there a new person?
Yes, it is. It's the coronavirus.
It is. I was thinking, I set you up. Very good.
Yes, and Tank could also talk about that because it looks like he has that at the current moment. Tank?
Fuck you. I don't. I just have what I feel like is maybe just the flu. And not the coronavirus, even though it is a flu.
Well, denial is stage
symptoms?
1.
Yeah,
right.
What are your symptoms?
Whatever glands in the bottom of your fucking jaw, wherever they're called, they're swollen. My throat is swollen. I could breathe just fine. Slight fever, not too high. And body aches. Also, if you want to get even more in depth, I also have diarrhea. So enjoy that image in your head.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, sounds like corona to me, but it's all good, man.
Fuck both of you guys, you know that, right? AKA what Marc called me earlier when I was eating some soup. He's, what do you call me, a coronanita?
Yeah, you've seen those, right? You get the joke?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good joke.
But welcome. This is a special edition of Incompetent Nerds for sure. Given the state of pretty much the whole entire planet right now, can go beyond the United States, right? Yeah. That's what we're gonna be deep diving into today. Any kicking it off thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, the state of Illinois went from 166, I think yesterday, to 208 confirmed cases.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
Yep. And what's crazy was over last weekend? It was like about 60 cases, and my girlfriend was like, she's about to lose her mind. She was like, I can't believe that. And then it came out today, 208 cases after yesterday was 166, and she does Grubhub. So she's losing her damn mind. She's been having the hand sanitizer. She bought herself gloves. So when she's grabbing bags and passing them, she's dealing with that.
But I hear it's like that's a good time right now.
Because even she has more time than the usual. Not a lot of folks doing Grubhub,
right,
are doing Grubhub. Like drivers, deliverers, they're not doing it. So it opens up slots. So she has slots. She says I think yesterday, she did 9:30 because all Illinois schools are shut down, closed. So yesterday she did like around 9:30 to 12 o'clock, took a break, then went back at it around 2 to 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Damn.
That's so crazy. Yeah, California school, LAUSD is closed for, they say 2 weeks, but it's definitely going to be a little bit longer. And other school districts have been doing the same thing, but they're giving out, like, since most people in the people they serve are, lower income, so they're giving out those breakfasts and lunches every day.
Yeah.
But I know people making, like, doing 12-hour shifts on, like, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub, all those kind of thing, and people are just like, leave it at the door, you don't even have to like knock on the door or whatever, because it's hitting people hard.
Yeah, they in Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, they're giving out people options to leave it at the front so they can select like where to leave it at.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like very easy that they made the adjustment. And then now LA has also, or the city of LA and LA County has closed all restaurants, bars, movie theaters, unless it's takeout. So that's even more of a reason that we have those.
Yeah, for us it's takeout. It's they're doing delivery or curbside pickup.
Oh yeah, you guys got cars. You know what's funny is like that's not even a big option, even though LA people have cars, because like people aren't even going out.
Yeah.
Because since schools are closed, like people stay home with their kids. Like nobody's trying to go out nowhere.
How's traffic been?
Traffic has been a breeze, guys. That is the best part of Corona and COVID-19 is the Caltrans. There's no accidents, so the Caltrans banners actually say like practice social like COVID-19 practice social distancing, less is more.
Hmm.
And I'm like, this is a great time to be on the road right now because there is nobody trying to get to work. It's great.
Yeah, because I know
I
you're
think
on the road.
I think two things are gonna happen. People are gonna either realize like every kind of work can be done remotely and things are gonna change a lot, or people are gonna just like lose their minds because they're not gonna know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working remotely for the past few days because my office is closed for 2 weeks. I don't go back to the office till like March 30th. And D, I think you said the same thing about you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, share your
Because we're
experience,
both
guys.
in
You've
the same
been
building.
you've been
So,
3 days in.
Yeah.
working remotely or working from home. One, I thought it was going to be a great thing, but it does have its pros and cons. Pros,
Yeah.
don't have to travel. Cons, I want to get outside. I want to like go somewhere else. So, but I could clearly see this changing after this in 2 weeks, and people who could work from home. I really see like some folks are gonna fight for it. Be like, I can literally do my job from home. What is the need for me to be in the office, even though I'm a block away from the office?
Right.
That's gonna be some
Right,
folks'
and
cases.
with the increased cases every day, it's gonna, maybe people will go back to the office, but will people want to?
Exactly.
Probably not. And to
Would
be
you
honest,
would you want to?
well, I actually enjoy the whole bus ride there to the office and being in there. I would want to, but I am still a severe asthmatic, so I can't really take that type of risk. Because if I get COVID-19, it's going to be really, really bad because of my asthma, my respiratory system, and my past, health. And yeah, it would be ugly if I catch it.
Yeah. So when I told D earlier I was sick, he laughed at me. So I told him I'm gonna go over and give you a hug,
Right.
cough in your motherfucking face.
That'd be fucking terrible.
You were terrible to me when you said that shit. I'm like, really, bro? You're supposed to have my back, not be an asshole.
I mean, but as guys, we got to be assholes to each other.
That's
But it's
just-
all in love, though.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. But not when there's a pandemic and your homie really thinks that he has the damn shit. Because I got grandparents too, and I'm kind of worried if I give one of them a high five, that's it.
I mean, you gotta, you'll be good, man. I really do hope you get better, and I really do hope that you don't have COVID-19.
No, I'm calling my doctor tomorrow, setting up an appointment. Fuckers are closed on Wednesdays.
However, since we're
Who's
on the
closed on
cast,
Wednesdays?
Wednesdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays are closed.
What kind of weird doctor is that?
I don't know. A doctor who owns his own office, his own clinic, and makes his own hours.
No,
oh, that's balling.
Yeah, that's my doctor. So I hit him up and be like, yo, I need an appointment ASAP.
ASAP, right?
Did you see how they take the test?
No.
What is it? What kind of test is it?
So when they take the test to check if you're Corona-19, they get those cotton swabs, but they're real thin and long as shit. And they stick it in your nose and rub it.
Ooh,
Like they go far deep in there. Like I'm guessing they're touching the freaking
the
brain.
brain cells. Yeah, no, there you go. Just we're on the same page.
And then they take it out, put it in a bag, and some people say that it makes them cough because it's a weird feeling. Yeah, because they're taking the back of your fucking they're taking your brain stem right there.
Your brainstem.
And tickle. But D, how about your experience working from home?
Well, it's been actually pretty cool, actually, to be honest with you. But I do feel like my performances went down significantly because since I made my apartment super comfy to like live in, I hardly ever want to just do any type of work, So
Yeah.
that's my only real downfall of it. But I'm actually pretty comfortable with this, and it was always an option for me to just work from home since I didn't, since everything is just, as long as I have Wi-Fi and I already have 2 work laptops. So That's all I pretty much needed to do my job. But
This guy's got 2 laptops. Jeez.
Yep.
yeah, yeah, one for my actual company that I work for, and the other one is for my client. So I have a client laptop, and my other laptop is for the place I work for.
Got it.
I was gonna use that stupid ass song that I got 2 phones.
Right.
But yeah.
Real talk, 2 computers.
All right. So since me and D's been working remote, what about you, Mark? How's the work life for you now?
So it's been I was telling my coworkers this today. Since I've still been going in and doing other stuff,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it feels a little bit more like it hasn't hit me yet. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at the COVID, like the bar graph right now on the CDC, and like it's getting worse. It's not going nowhere anytime soon. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna get real bad. And I don't think I've even noticed because it's just like I'm doing my same routine, I'm like I haven't that the work life hasn't hit me. I'm still
Okay.
getting up, I'm still eating my breakfast, I'm still going to work, I get to take my time, there's no traffic, I still get a cup of coffee or a donut or whatever. Crazy thing that today happened though. I went to the donut shop,
Mm-hmm.
and the donut shop is selling water, eggs, flour, and I was
Oh
just like,
shit.
what kind of bizarre world is this? And they're literally just taking they have literally like a Brita filter on their sinks, and they're
Mm-hmm.
just filling up 5-gallon things for people because water is like at a premium right now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's crazy that the kinds of things that change, and some businesses like, try to, obviously they have to still survive, so they're trying to make adjustments. So it's very interesting to see.
That is actually really cool with what they're doing,
No, yeah, I
because
like it.
yeah.
And they're in a very like they're not in a very good part of town. So, if people don't have access to the grocery store and that's all they can do, then it's cool that they're able to offer that.
Yeah.
Right. And also, I actually want to talk about an impact on communities that don't have any grocery stores, food
Food
deserts.
deserts, yes, we've talked about
Hmm.
this on the cast before.
Yeah. So they are heavily, well, a lot of things are heavily impacted, but I think that people kind of underestimate how the impact is in the food desert when there's
Yeah,
already not a lot. But
yeah. Have you seen it? Have you witnessed anything crazy to report or that you've seen?
no, nothing crazy to report, but it's just for me, it's just an observation. Well, it's just pretty much something that I would just always was on my mind because I
Yeah,
grew up in a food desert.
right.
And I can imagine walking, 10 to 15 blocks to go to a grocery store and finding out that it's empty. It'd be quite frustrating.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem with like sort of what people were doing in the beginning with like bulk buying everything, is that like you don't realize like, yeah, you may be, I'm glad you're safe and set and you had the money to, drop the money on whatever, 8 things of water and 4 things of toilet paper, but elderly people or people on a fixed income, they get one shot to go to the grocery store. They can't be coming back each day and like
Yeah.
checking for bananas or toilet paper or whatever, flour, whatever crazy stuff is like going out now. But
Right.
Some of the
it's
retail stores here and the department stores, my mother kept going out every morning with my grandmother, grab a couple things, and she noticed they gave elderly. They'll close the store is still closed, but if the elderly came in early, they gave them an hour before they opened up the store. So the store opens at
yeah,
7.
grocery stores are,
As they
yeah.
Yeah,
should.
they were giving the elderly a chance because my girlfriend sent me a video of this lady, middle-aged woman, looks like a total Karen, fighting with a elderly woman for a loaf of bread, like literally just sliced bread, like
Wow.
Bro,
fighting for
that's
it. And this guy straight up bum rushes and gets in between. And the lady, the Karen, she goes, "Oh my God, it's not even that serious." When she said that,
yeah,
here's the killer part: both shelves on this aisle are empty. This is the
right.
last piece of bread. Bitch, you have like 4 or 5 of them in your cart. Give this lady one.
Right.
Yeah. it's sort of interesting. Gun shops are like have lines as well, kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
handguns
But
and shotguns are selling.
it's interesting how like America has this we have this mentality of like, we should have all these systems, the government should, be prepared for this, and the CDC isn't doing what they can and they didn't do the, everybody like wants to blame somebody. But then on the flip side, we have this very like, oh, I gotta protect me and mine, and like everybody else, like you can screw it, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm only caring about me and the people I care about.
Right. And that is just as you just said, well, that's the fundamental idea of America is pretty much just look out for me, take care of mine, and fuck everybody else.
Right.
Especially that's kind of how it really is in Chicago. We're not really a community of helping people all the time. It's really just dog eat dog type of world.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
But when you I guess a better way to articulate myself is when you're in this mindset of being in the dog eat dog, you're only fucking over yourself too,
Right.
You're impacting yourself just as much as you're impacting the other person. And I'm not sure if people are actually aware of that.
Right. Yeah, like a lot of my other education friends have been like went remotely, or they're getting, it's a private school, so they're getting paid, and they're like, oh, like why aren't you showing up, like why are you showing up, and like why do you still got to be there and all this stuff. And um it's sort of like in these situations, there's still work that needs to get done, and there's still people that need to do it. We're not asking, ambulance drivers to stay home, or the firefighters or the police to stay home, so doing work for schools is just as important as that. And I think that's something that like people forget sometimes,
Yeah.
is that stuff still has to run, even though like your job, it's like cool and you get to stay at home and work from home.
Right. And it just all of these other jobs that the economy undervalues is required and needed in order for us to even deal with this pandemic at the current moment. So, like for example, food service people, they don't make a lot of money, and in the economy, they essentially say that their talent isn't really worth that much. So
Right.
it's basically a threshold of how much money that they could really make in that particular field.
Right.
However, during a crisis or epidemic, they are so fucking needed. You need people in those grocery stores. You need people at those restaurants to help, with the food and stuff like that. And yeah, it is that
Right.
we underappreciate things that really matter in America. Well, at
Right.
least that's my
And
opinion.
no, I totally agree. There's and people come out here to live in LA and chase some sort of entertainment dream, and they live essentially paycheck to paycheck. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, like now, having the bars closed for just the 2 weeks and restaurants closed for 2 weeks is gonna cause some people to either have to change their life or move back home or whatever, make different decisions based on something that we could have done a little bit better job of preparing for in the long run.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
There was something I was going to ask you guys. Oh, the economy.
Yeah.
So
yes.
like because of this, like so many events are canceled or postponed or whatever. So how long do you think? And obviously everything we've just said about the service industry. How long do you think this impact can last on like just the economy in general?
To be honest with you, I don't think that anybody will have like an accurate answer of how long it will impact it. But if I were to just take an educated guess,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking that it's going to be impacted until next year. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but like you're so true, especially if, people are using their savings, or people are using
Hmm.
whatever they can to pay rent or whatever, and who don't have that security with their job.
Hmm.
Then, nobody's going to be spending basketball tickets or concert tickets or any sort of entertainment that we've been used to seeing at all.
Yeah.
Exactly, 100%. And also on top of that is basically, well, with consumer behavior, people are going to lose confidence into spending extra money
Right.
because this situation will kind of give people like it'll shake them up or kind of give them like a PTSD of why it's
Right.
important to save or reserve. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
Right.
gotta not only get the economy back up, but you also have to boost the confidence of all of the citizens as well.
Right.
And can I add? Let me add something to that as well. So when all this was happening, they were talking about 401ks and how they're being afflicted. I checked my
Hmm.
401k, and the
You
last
shouldn't
time
have
I
done
saw
that.
it, I was like, "That's a pretty decent number, even though it's not that much." Okay, cool. Can't retire on that number anyways. It dropped about $1,000. I was like, okay, cool. This is normal, give or take. Shit is going on. Then, as time passed, and I'm telling you guys right now,
Hmm.
looking
Yeah.
at it now, your homie lost $10,000 in his 401k.
Wow.
Gone.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Don't retire. You all right? You got to get through that sickness.
Oh man.
But can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yes,
Yeah, of
please.
course.
Because I
Because
definitely want to
I'm not
give
the only
you
one being
my
affected.
perspective.
And I know there's a lot of people in their 50s and 60s just inches away to retire. And they said it. You got people who are inches away just to retire. And just like they just lost either half or a portion, or some can survive off what they retire with. But overall, it impacted.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
like me or you, Tank, like, yeah, it sucks to log in and see the number and be like, oh, come on, like this sucks. But I mean, you're right, it's worse for those people who are just about to get there, and even if the economy does recover in a year, or like D said, or maybe it takes 2 years, it's still not going to be anywhere close to what it was inching toward.
Yeah.
And honestly, for everybody that sees that their account is significantly down, I just kind of just want to educate everybody on kind of how these retirement accounts work or any type of investment that you consider. So with investments, you have something called, well, realized gains and unrealized gains. And essentially what that means is what you see in your accounts at the current given moment, these are unrealized gains or losses because the number, it doesn't matter how much it goes down. It only matters when you're trying to make the withdrawal.
Yeah.
So if you're going to hold it for longer than this period, I definitely, well, all of the experts would not recommend you to pull your money out right now because once the economy gets back up, you're going to lose on that gain that's going to come back into the economy.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't, and I get it, you see it go down and you panic and stuff like that. But if you're planning on holding it a lot longer, well, if you plan on holding it in the long run, this would just be just one little bump in the road. And
One little
over
bleep.
time,
Hey,
yeah.
D, is it too late for me to just be like, I, I just hit the OK button to withdraw?
Oh my God.
Is it too late? I just love these voice. Oh my God!
Yeah,
No, I hit the log out button.
because I actually experienced that in 2008, and I can actually talk about real figures. So
Oh
I
yeah.
guess I'll open up. So basically, I was 17 years old and I was a beneficiary. And I'm not going to give the exact number, but it was six figures. Later, then, I had my financial advisor. He helped me out. It didn't grow much. Then I took it on myself. I doubled it, and then 2008 happened, which was the crisis.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then I lost 70% of my portfolio. I got scared. I withdrew all of that money, but as the economy recovered, I always took that loss, and that loss
Right.
is always in my taxes. Of they're giving me deductibles because of that.
Yeah.
That's
But
well. At
yeah,
least
but
you still get that, right?
right. But the bad thing is that's the worst thing to do in a crisis because immediately you think, well, your instincts are telling you to withdraw the funds, but once the economy goes back to normal, you're going to lose out You know, because that's your shot at getting all of your money back.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to be aware of that. It's unrealized and realized. It's only realized. The number is only realized when you actually withdraw the funds.
And it's
So,
time in the market, not money in the market, right?
right, exactly. Yeah, see, you got this.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you. You know, it's right now it's like rational thought. I think for folks is a little hard, obviously, because there's so many
Agree.
uncertainties. And
Yeah.
I think that when people, you know what, Tank, it's funny that you looked at it because I looked at mine too, and it's just like I try to look at it and then put it out of my head. I try to look at it and then like put it out of my head, right? And like
Yeah.
listen to the logic. But then it's like you're just like, no, how bad is it? How bad is you
Yeah,
just
you just
it's like you want
exactly.
you want to hate yourself like more and more, you know? But yeah, I mean,
But
I'm in the same boat if it makes you feel better.
yeah, but no, most most of my stocks, most of my 401k is in bonds, and that's where
That's why.
the government was already talking about putting in money into the bonds.
Hmm.
But then again, another part was when they were slashing what was it, percentages or interest on
Interest
the
rates.
bonds.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's definitely there goes my fucking 401k. Now you're making this shit go up slower. And Jesus Christ, is a crying baby.
Ah.
Crying babies are cool, so it's okay.
But D, just to give you your credit, you did say, you know, things can't go down forever, right? Or up forever rather, because that would just be you know, that would just be infinity, and we can't have that.
Right. And 2008 was a big crisis, but if you could look at the economy and look at the graph, you could see that we almost tripled from 2008. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta keep that in perspective. And I'm
Very
looking at
true.
my retirement account, and not to gloat or anything like that, but I am down 3.1%.
Down.
Big, oh God. I'm just messing with you, D.
No, because I just looked at it because y'all had me fucking worried.
D's like,
You
oh
know
no,
what?
please no.
I'm gonna remove it from my home screen of apps. I removed it.
There you go.
But
I did. I am buying stocks though because this is a great time.
Yeah, this is a great time. And you know what's funny? And I mentioned and I told you, D, if I wanted to invest, like you say, in products that people use every day, like Clorox,
Yeah,
your
you know
ass
what?
told me, I don't think that's a decent buy. I would have been fucking in the
I
money
still
right
stick with
now.
it. Nope, I still stick with it. I still stick with my guns on that.
I still would have been in the money though. That shit
Proc-
went up.
Procter and Gamble went up 15% this week.
See?
But you have to look at the entire performance of not just
Yeah.
a small moment, but of all time.
You think I would have made a nice little come up if I put in like $1,000, 2,000, whatever, my whole fucking my tax return all in there, and then as soon as everything starts to come out better, like, oh, cases are going down, stores are being restocked, the panic among the people is less.
Hey,
Sell.
hold on though.
It's not that easy. Everybody thinks it's that easy.
Paper. People aren't gonna be buying toilet paper until like 2021.
True.
So
Everybody thinks the investment world is that easy if they just know when to pull their money out. Everybody says that, but there's only a small group of investors that basically have more than 99% of the actual population, and that's because they do things differently.
You know what? I was gonna
Can
say
we talk
something
about
funny.
one thing though?
Yeah, sure.
That's Jason.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say something funny, but it was very too immature.
No,
you
go
guys
for it.
say it.
It was
Okay,
about
let
the
him
pull.
get it out.
It was about the pull out. Like how you saying, like everybody knows when to pull out, but they really don't. I'm like, oh,
That's
like all
right.
three of our fathers.
Yep. Yep. They thought they had it down.
Like, shit.
Fuck. Gotta take care of little D over here. Fuck.
Have you guys ever used a baby wipe?
Use the what?
Have you ever used a baby wipe recently?
Yeah.
No, not recently.
I don't know why I would ever go back to toilet paper.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's
I
incredible.
used to use it like 2 years ago, but yeah, it's fucking amazing.
It changes the game. I don't know why more people aren't doing this. I don't know why people don't know about it. I opened a box from 1992, put some water. They were a little dry. Put some water on them. They came back to life, and we're living the dream here. And I feel like I'm using less. I only use like one sheet per poo, and it's like I'm saving the actual paper itself.
Right, but I think the only flaw is like the flushing down the toilet part. I don't think that it breaks down well like tissue. But other than that, it's fucking incredible.
So I totally wouldn't flush the ones from like the 90s, but like now I feel like if you're buying them, they got flushable ones. They got ones that are on the cutting edge, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
What was it? I was always told like by my mother and my grandfather when I was a kid growing up was wipe your butt with the toilet paper and then finish with the wipe. I was like, I never understood. And then when I got old, I was like, oh, now I see why. Because, when you're a kid, you're just a piece of shit.
Right.
You're automatically dirty. But when you're an adult, you're just like, oh, damn, Mom, you were onto something.
Right. Those wipes hit different when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Very, very true.
Oh, and I also wanted to stay on the topic a little bit for the COVID-19. Talk about the stimulus. So
yes, sure.
For the viewers at the current moment,
the $1 trillion stimulus package.
Yes. So far, it looks like the actual American citizens are going to get 2 paychecks in April and in May, but they're not really sure what the figures are going to be. But people are anticipating that it's going to be up to $1,000 and maybe even more. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
It'll be nice, but it won't be nice if nobody's getting paid from their jobs.
Yeah. I see this of people using this, those who, those who are not currently working due to whatever jobs because they can't remote from home. I see this being helpful for them paying their rent, bills, whatever, so forth, even though it's up to $1,000. But also read that it's also based on your current income, household, and how much you get. So, for example, for us three, I know we get paid pretty decent. And for us to get a check from the government, it'll probably be like, well, we're still working. Be it that 2 of us are working from home, Marc is still getting shit done and cracking skulls out there.
Right.
But I could see us probably getting like maybe $100, $200 check. Like, here you go, have fun with that, and don't forget to pay us back with interest. Wait, what?
Right? Yeah, it's gonna have to report it on income and your taxes.
You gave me this. This is a gift. But yeah, I know they said it was based on income and household to determine how much you're going to receive your check.
Let's put it this way, D. I'm not waiting for it.
I'm not waiting for it either, to be honest. But I just think that this was the proper way of actually doing it, which Andrew Yang has been talking about this $1,000 a month for the past year now. I just want to throw that out here.
Yeah, he has. And I read an article today called Mad People, or Andrew Yang's cell phone be blowing up right about now.
Exactly, because he was basically talking about the issues that we could happen, well, and just in case of, AI starts taking over and shit like that and people start losing their jobs. The type of crisis that we're having at the current moment is what he was trying to pretty much prevent by having that $1,000 a month. But now
it's UBI, right? He believes in UBI, right? That's what I understand.
Yes.
So UBI, yeah, it's like everybody gets $1,000 or like some set amount, whatever it is, or maybe it's based on state. Mm-hmm. But then there's no services. There's no Social Security. There's no unemployment. There's no health care. Like everybody, you can do whatever you want with your 1,000. You want to pay rent with it, pay rent. You want to get healthcare, get healthcare. You want to do this, get this. But like
Mm-hmm.
everything else from the government is out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting tactic.
Yeah, it is. And plus, he was basically saying, which I honestly, well, my thing about it was he was actually trying to get it from tech companies through federal tax because if any of the viewers don't know, so Amazon they pay their state taxes in some states, but for the most part they pay zero in federal taxes, and that goes the same way for a lot of other corporations and stuff like that. But he was actually hoping to try to close up some type of loopholes that were going on that prevented the government from getting federal income from these companies and using that money to do the $1,000 an hour. But yeah, it looks like that wouldn't have actually worked out as well. Well, I still like the idea.
I think the problem is like if you do that, you actually it sounds nice, but you would also have to lay off. I mean, hundreds of thousands of millions of workers of people who do work in those industries. Like, I'm
True.
sure the unemployment line is blowing up right now, and somebody's got to. Again, they still have to go to work.
Right, yeah. But yeah, well, it's like I haven't seen a plan throughout my lifetime that was 100%, good with no pros and cons. But I,
Right.
I still found it to be an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like it would have been held in the short run, but kind of would have paid itself off and plateaued in the long run.
Well, we'll see what happens with this mini test right now.
Yeah, you're right, because we're going to receive 2 checks, which is cool.
There was a test already ran. If I'm not mistaken, it was in Hawaii of a UBI, and it was just to see what the public was spending on and how would it go with the public.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were going against it, saying people are just going to spend it on, stupid things, like nothing of importance. And when the results came through in the surveys, they found out that most of the people who received a UBI spent it on food, bills, food, utilities, rent, home mortgage, or anything just that was the essentials. I think it was like 95%. I'll try to find that article and post it up here, but there was a test run, and about 90 to 95% of participants used it for something that they needed or needed to pay off, where the 5 to 10% literally just splurged it on whatever bullshit.
Right, and that's also the same data that Andrew Yang had. Well, during his campaign, he gave people $1,000 a month for the next year, and he would do that with the entire family. So if you have a kid that's 18 or older, they also get $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And they did study that data, and most of it really did go towards, all of the essential needs and stuff like that. And they used their income for, like extra stuff that they wanted to get into. Like, yeah, I want to be a kickboxer, so I go to a gym now, and I want to, guitar lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I really like the idea, but like I said, or as Mark even pointed out, it does has its cons. But everything does.
Everything's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Are we making it through or here? How long before you guys go to work? What's your prediction?
Well, no matter what, my office open up end of the month, but just to see how the city is by next week, because since my girlfriend's doing Grubhub, she's been giving me posted on how the streets have been, and from Monday to she said she went Sunday, she did a couple runs. She said the streets was pretty normal. Then Monday it was the same thing. Tuesday, she started noticing like people were different in terms of how handling food and getting food, especially there was only curbside pickups and deliveries. And then today, she sends me a picture of Wicker Park. And Mark, I think we walked through Wicker Park, if I'm not mistaken. Or we took the train past and I showed you. That place is always packed. The area is always packed, no matter the time of day. It was dead. She sent me a picture of it. It was dead.
Interesting.
And
wow.
She was picking up food to deliver it. And she sent me a picture. So each passing day, and this was during lunch. She sent me this picture around, let me see. What time was this? This was around 11:30. So around that lunch period, between 11:30 and 1:30, boom, empty. She said the only people you're seeing is there's a few people here and there driving, Lyft and Uber drivers who are usually Grubhub and Uber Eats drivers as well, along with typical police cars patrolling.
Wow. Crazy. Crazy time to be alive.
That it is.
Yeah, right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in on this episode of Incompetent Nerds. We'll be back next week, keeping you updated with everything nerd related or also health related. Peace out.
Stay safe.